Yeah, ground hunting, there's a lot that I learned a lot you learn a lot by failing, you know what I mean? Like,
Oh
I
yeah.
failed a lot in the very first go of it, but once I figured out everything has to kinda happen on a blind corner or an ambush spot, like,
Mhm.
so you gotta play the wind for one, but you know what I mean? Does that make sense to you? Like,
Oh, no, no,
if you
I
gotta
meant to
get
say that yeah. I meant to say that earlier, things that you're looking for, and you just said it. Things you're looking for, those pinch points, funnels that they have to go through,
yeah,
setting up on those. And I think you have that one, well, you got a spot you call ambush. So yeah,
yeah,
that's a heck of a
it's an
pinch point right
ambush,
there.
but that it's a pinch point, but the hard part about it is because where it's at, you're sitting right up at the very top of the mountain there on the back side of it, and the way that they're coming is up over, and it's so thick that by the time you see them, if you're not ready and reacting, it's you're gonna miss your opportunity.
Yeah.
So
As soon as you hear something coming, you got to be
it's
drawn.
hard. Well, it's hard hunting. Yeah, it's hard because you have to be on constantly. Every little sound, you have to be ready, and yeah, it's a tough spot, but boy, is it magical. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. There's some and that area right there always has big deer. So it's 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 consistently had
Yeah,
them
yeah.
over the years. But so with all
That's
that
why it
being
was called
said,
the promised land.
exactly. With all that being said, so as far as your gear setup this year, what are you carrying with you and why?
Well, definitely not in the early season. I'm not using a blind. I don't want to get sweated up. It's just too much weight. The chair, the blind. No, again, I don't really use it much anyway. But so I have a Summit tree seat. It's called the stump seat, I believe. I carry that in just my backpack. I have a turkey hunting curtain blind, and about I mean, that's pretty much it. And I'll find deadfall. I'll use that as an advantage for me. I'll use the edge of thick stuff. That's really my gear. Like you have a tree stand or you have your saddle, you know what I mean? I don't really have that. So I have to utilize the forest as my gear. Does that, and
Yeah.
it's sometimes going in and you have to almost, for me, I have to know where I'm going. I can't just wing it because going in the dark and trying to figure out
Oh
that
yeah.
pinch point you were talking about, or
Mhm.
you can't see an ambush spot in when it's pitch black out with a headlamp and everything's kinda you know how them lights are, you could see the immediate area, but everything else around it is kinda blacked out, you know what I mean? So, you gotta
Mhm.
utilize scouting. That is why it's important to me, and I should be doing more, but I will in a couple the next couple weeks here, I'm gonna be probably getting into it a lot more than I have because it's dog show season again, but yeah, it's that my gear is a lot different than the tree climber. You guys have hooks, you guys have ropes, and you have this and that, where I'm I'm geared completely different. It's, what am I gonna do on the ground, for noise? I have to clear, I have to it's a totally different
How are
approach, but you don't want to clear too much because you need that advantage scratching to make sounds to, kind of like using it as a call, so to speak.
so question, what
Yeah.
how are you setting up your bow? Or is it always in your hand, or are you using some kind of ground stake
Yeah.
to put your
No,
bow on?
it's
Where are your arrows at? Are
I
you
do
keeping your
have
quiver on?
I always have one knocked and like I have this, I think it's from Allen Company. Anyway, it's like a two prong that goes down into the ground that I can put my bow on. So actually, I would do it on my left hand because I shoot right-handed, but so I would have it kinda set off to the side so I could just grab it and go, but there's a lot of times where I have my cam, I'll I'll put my feet together kinda like this when I'm sitting on that seat, and I'll have my cam sitting on my boot, so all I'd have to do is lift up. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Oh, yeah. I've done that stuff
It's
before.
yeah, it it's attrition. You gotta put yourself through it to understand, like, sitting there for hours, kind of on the ground, it's different. You have a bird's eye view from the tree, so you could see them coming from a lot farther away, where I don't have that. I am relying more on my ears, my ears mostly to hear. uh, I have to be ready more of the time than I could think a guy in a tree does.